Welcome to my channel. Are you a woman over the age of 35 and have signs or symptoms of early burnout, or maybe you're really in burnout? And we're going to talk today about how you can, one, notice the signs, but more importantly, how you can heal from burnout and possibly, hopefully, prevent burnout if you're not all the way in it yet. So, if you're new here, my name is Misty Shaheen, and I have been working with women between the ages of like 30 to 50 on increasing energy, losing weight for on and off for about 10 years. And I have been through burnout 2 times, and then I really felt myself going back into it just last year when my dad was in the hospital, and I was also trying to manage, work and my 3 children and being a wife and maintaining a home and also taking care of my dad. And I was like, no, we're not doing this again. We've been here and I've learned my lessons. And so I want to help you to know, one, what are the early signs, but also more importantly, today we are going to talk about how to prevent it. If you did not watch my previous video or podcast, listen to, whether you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to this on the podcast app, my last video, I talked about how do you know what is burnout. We talked about early signs and symptoms of burnout, what causes burnout. So definitely go back and watch or listen to that. Just to recap, some of the signs of burnout, some of the early triggers or warning signs include chronic exhaustion or fatigue, decreased motivation, or like you lose your enthusiasm, cynicism and detachment, decreased performance, increased irritability. You could have physical symptoms like headache, muscle tension, or like you're feeling like you're getting sick way more often than what you should be. Insomnia or sleep issues. You could be socially withdrawn or coping with vices like caffeine or smoking or drinking or overeating. You also could have feelings of hopelessness. So the first thing that we need to do if you are in burnout or noticing some early signs of burnout is, what are your possible triggers? What are the stresses that you have in your life that is causing you to be in burnout? And on my last video, we talked about what those causes could be. It could be work, it could be your caregiver responsibilities, it could be having a lack of support or just not having healthy habits and routines in place to create a healthier lifestyle. So what is that for you? Like, I'm sure you already know, like, oh yeah, it's this one thing. I know this is where I'm overextending myself. And the second thing is we need to start setting some boundaries. One is you have to start saying no more often. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Remember that. Let me repeat that. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. You need to identify what are the priorities in your life. What are those big blocks? Whether you're a mom and your kids come first, or if you know that you have to help your mom, you have to help your dad, like what are those big rocks in your life that they are non-negotiables and everything else gets to fit around those. And not everything can be a big rock, by the way. So you just have to start saying no and realizing you can't be all things to everyone. You have to pick what is the most important to you and what else can put on the back burner for now until you have more time and energy, or until you can create space for it. And you have to start prioritizing yourself and your self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot. And So you can look at your daily routines, and there's some routines that pour into you, and there's some things that you're pouring your energy out. And there are some things you can do in your life that actually give you your energy back. Depending on what your work is, you may be filled up on a soul level from your work, or it could be draining you. And so I am going to go into that in later weeks. We're going to talk about how do you know if you're in your soul's purpose, and how can you make money doing things that you love. That may be something you need to look at. Stress management. So there are different things that you could do to help manage your stress levels. Mindfulness techniques, meditation, also building in relaxing activities into your daily routine to help you manage your stress levels. So some things include like getting out in nature, minimizing your social media time, journaling. Some of these, even like coloring, or if you like to do art, like incorporating more of those things into your daily routine can actually help manage your stress levels. A supportive network. If you have been around me for long, you know I preach about this. This is so important. I personally could not get a handle on my own self-care practices and my healthy eating routine, workouts, until I surrounded myself with the right people. Then I was able to get a handle on it. So I'm such a huge advocate for having the right support people around you. And just because someone is a friend or a family member doesn't mean they're the right support that you need right now. And this is why I created a monthly membership to help support women in their health and practices and how to create a life you don't need a vacation from. Why do you think I created that? Because I have personal experience on how to do that, and what is the opposite of that is like living a life that you hate or living a life that stresses you out. And so a big component of my monthly membership is the supportive community that I've been able to curate and cultivate. And I have built my career on supporting women. And I believe we women need to be living in tribes. Women are social creatures. Men do not need the supportive network like women do. We are emotional and we are social creatures, and we need other nurturers around us. So when you are so good at nurturing other people, but who is nurturing you? Who is pouring back into you? You need that. And I'll leave a link below. If you want to check out the membership, I'll leave details. Next is lifestyle changes. So we talked briefly about this in the last video. If you have unhealthy habits, they could be leading you into a state of burnout. So things like making changes to your diet, eating healthier, drinking more water, getting more movement in your day, developing healthy exercise routines, sleep habits, stress management. These are all things I go into my membership for good reason, because I know we as women, we are not always great about making these changes. And if you need support in that, definitely check out my membership. And also, we need to talk about time management. So if you watched the last video, I briefly talked a little bit about this also, but planning ahead for things, knowing what's on your to-do list that today, this week? What do you have coming up? And so you can put the proper plan in place to manage that. But also, it has to do with delegating also, because you can't do it all. And so you need to figure out what can only you do and what can someone else could do for you. So some of the things that I've done to do this is like having my kids help around the house. Like they can do things like switching the laundry, folding clothes, switching the dishwasher, unloading the dishwasher, vacuuming the floor. There's little things that kids can do or other family members can do, and doesn't always have to rest on your shoulders. I'm sure that you are not the only person living in your house, and you are not the only person responsible for cleaning your house. So also things like grocery delivery, grocery pickup, having someone else go get the groceries. So what are the things that you could delegate that it doesn't necessarily need to be you doing it, someone else could do it? You need a personal self-care plan. If you need something like this, I'm going to be creating a free training all around how to create a self-care plan based on your astrological birth chart. And this is going to be, all the things that you love to do, all the things that fill up your cup. Because as I have worked with women on and off for 10 years, what I found most is a lot of women, they didn't have a self-care routine, one, and two, when I would give them things to do, they were like, well, I don't like to do that, or I don't do that, or that's not really interesting to me. So when I became a life path astrology reader, this is something I started researching and diving more into. There's certain placements in your birth chart that we can look at to figure out, like, what are the things that you love? What's going to fill your cup? What's going to, fill you up on a soul level? What is kind of work that you could do to fill you up on a soul level? So if you want to check out that training, I will leave the link below, and it's going to be free, and then it's eventually going to sit inside of my membership. So if you're watching this video like later on, then you could join the membership and get that training. Okay, we talked about stress relief in your daily life. How can you build stress management techniques and activities into your daily life and your daily routine? And then lastly, we talked about healthy habits. So that's just a recap. So thank you for watching, and I would appreciate it if you like this video, leave me a comment below, and subscribe if you are interested in more content like this. And leave me a comment below. I want to know, what are you going through, signs, symptoms, and if there's anything in this video that really stood out to you.